Hey guys, I'm here simply to address what I like to call the big three solutions to the race issues that we're facing in our society today. The reason why I call them the big three solutions is because these are the ones I think that we are turning over the most or that we're considering well right now or trying to consider well right now. The first solution is because I am a Christian myself, I say the number one solution is Jesus. I believe that is the perfect solution. I hear a lot of people saying, we shouldn't return violence for violence, that we should love each other and not hate. The issue there is that we're trying to get people to adhere to a moral standard that's reflective of God's character. But the only way that you can do that is if your heart has been transformed by God Himself, and that is done by believing in Jesus and becoming more Christ-like, becoming more like Him. So Jesus is the number one solution because He'll help us to be able to adhere to a standard that will allow us not to brutalize one another. So Jesus is the number one solution. Number two is something, if you're familiar with it, called civil disobedience. It was Martin Luther King's calling card during the civil rights movement. And I'm not going to give you like a full nuanced definition of it. I'm just going to kind of simplify it to this. And I wrote it down as like breaking an unjust law peacefully to show the fallacy in it. And they did that in a number of different ways. So one of the things they did was, during the civil rights movement, there were segregation laws. Like it would say, certain places were for whites only, certain places were for, they called it colored people only. And so what Martin Luther King and other civil rights demonstrators would do is they would go into these places like restaurants that said white people only, and they would sit down, and that's called a sit-in. So you would sit there and you don't do anything wrong, you just sit there, be peaceful, and they didn't do anything wrong, but people would come up and hit them, spit in their face, slap them, abuse them, harass them, and they just did it to show the people like what you're doing is wrong, and it worked really well. Also, another thing they did was of course, the marches, like the one in Selma, Montgomery, um, the protests, and by far and large, it worked really well. Civil disobedience is a really good option. It's peaceful, nonviolent, and it kind of reflects people's attitude toward trying to, you know, adhere to a standard that will allow us to get away from violence. And that brings up the last one, actually. The last solution, unfortunately, because of sin and evil in the world, is violence slash riots. When you look at our history, people have responded to their oppressors or oppression violently since ever since sin and evil came into the world. People have decided to raise their hand against their brother and fight back because that I guess that gets people's attention. And as sad as to say that is, we see it every day. We act like we're moving forward in society and we're leaving behind these things, but it happens all the time. And look at what's going on in the Middle East. I mean, North Korea, Christians are being persecuted and being killed for their faith. In China, just all over the place. Violence is still an answer. It's not the perfect answer, it's not the best solution, but it's still an answer to the issues that people are facing these days. And unfortunately, that has happened in response to some of these race issues that we've had. So those are the big three solutions to the race problems that we're having in our society today. Let me know what you think. If you have another one that I didn't think of or whatnot, just let me know, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more videos.